Okay, the Detroit Lions are headed south to the Superdome to face the New Orleans Saints. Before we go there, let's do a little small math type of thing. I'm going to give you 5 numbers. 2, 3, 5, 9, and 10. Question is, what's the average and what's the median? And the median is the middle of the two numbers, that's 5. And the average, well, 2 and 3 is 5, plus another 5 is 10, plus 19 is 29. Divide 29 into 5, 5.8, or around there. So what would be more important if you're looking at things like a game total for a score between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints? Would you look for the average of scores, or would you look for the median of scores? And the answer for that is median. Because what the books essentially need to do is find a line that has a 50% chance of going above the total, which is, say, the over, and 50% going under, 50% for the home team to cover, and 50% for the road team to cover. So therefore, because sportbooks have said that they wanted to take the job every single day, every single sport, to be able to find a side and total for every single one, then they are on the clock. They must go perfect, or pretty close to it, if they want to succeed. If they screw up just one game, that can enable all these people to bet on one particular side, which really should be the motivation or the goal for someone who's trying to beat the sports book, as very oftentimes they'll put in the minus 110 lines, 11 to win 10, or you need to go 52.3% just to break even. And I was a little shocked to see that the spread was as high as it was to make the New Orleans Saints 11-point favorites. And then I was thinking last Sunday, do they even have the guts to put a 60-point total on this particular matchup, which on paper states that it should be a high-scoring battle upon both sides of the field. Now, because the total is pretty close to 60, I really can't take it over. I was hoping anything 55, 55 and a half or lower, that I would. Because if you're out there trying to make wagers and try to beat the system, you can't be taking plays that you think has a 52, 53% shot of covering, as long as your analysis, of course, is correct, because you're not going to be winning on the long-term time frame. But I kind of wonder about the spread that has 11 points. And I've been thinking all week, is this some sort of trap to get people to go on the Detroit Lions, or are they trying to ensure that they get even amount of betting? And that's basically what I've been looking at, is that they're trying to get equal betting on the sides. And I think the side is just a little too high for that matter. And I'm big on New Orleans this year as one of my picks, as a strong pick to even be Super Bowl champions when it's all said and done. A team that could go into Green Bay and take them out. Drew Brees is a sensational quarterback, broke the record for most passing yards in this season, and ever since he broke out, I think about 7 years ago, man, that guy has been on fire with amazing plays from the backfield. Even though he's only like 6 foot or 6'1", the guy is an amazing pocket passer, and he can even run when he needs to, and really only when he needs to. I like how Sean Payton gets his running backs to catch the ball, and I don't want to sound like a homer or somebody who plays the system that I like, which is get your running backs the ball by throwing it to them. Don't just always run it off. Get your checkdowns in play, get your screens in play, make your running backs make the plays. But if you might be able to do better if you can get them throwing the ball like they do with Darren Sproles, Christopher Ivey, Mark Ingram, and one of them got hurt. But that's the thing. They had 4 good running backs on their team, so if one of them gets hurt, hopefully not Sproles, and it wasn't, that doesn't mean too much. As far as the receiving game is concerned, Robert Meacham, I think, sustaining a little bit of an injury. Whether he's going to go or not too sure. Again, their depth at wide receiver is extremely strong. New Orleans' big weakness is their defensive side of the ball. It's not too hard to move the ball against that club. And now we got Matthew Stafford. First ever playoff game, although he's really not a rookie, though. He's in his third year in the league. But it is his first playoff game. And he's got a lot of amazing weapons. Calvin Johnson, maybe the best wide receiver in the game right now. He's got a nickname called Megatron. I call him the Beast. And you throw the ball up to this guy, he's always going to be double covered. And that's the amazing thing. You got him double covered, and that gives room for Burleson and Titus Young to make a lot of great plays along the other sides. And Titus Young, my sleeper pick for fantasy football next year, he is really coming on well as of late. Despite the fact that Detroit is fairly weak on the running game, Kevin Smith is going to be their feature back. And that they've been managing to survive well because Matthew Stafford just keeps on slaying it down the field with his 3 wide receiver set. And that's what you're going to usually see in Detroit. You're going to see 3 wide receivers 75-80% of the time, as Titus Young will get a lot of play as far as the wide receiver's position. But I started off the whole thing about doing the numbers game. I have to disagree largely with the spread, which probably should be around 6 points to 6.5, no more than 7. So that's why I'm going to be taking the Detroit Lions plus the 11 points in a game that should be a little closer and still not the largest of surprises, or not even a shock by any means if the Detroit Lions win this game outright by 1 point, 3 points, whatever it happens to be, because that offense is really, really good. But I guess maybe they're putting it lower because, well, Detroit's a joke of a franchise. They haven't been good since Barry Sanders. And even when they had Barry Sanders, they were not good. They haven't been to a conference championship game since before Super Bowl I. So it's a pretty bad team, but you know what? That's like history. It's almost like saying the Boston Red Sox can never win a World Series because they're cursed by the Bambino curse. Yeah, well, they've won 2 now. Things change. So we'll see if Detroit can do what they're supposed to do, and that's compete in the NFL playoffs. Thank you for tuning in. The entire selection for the weekend is the Detroit Lions plus the 11 points. The Cincinnati Bengals plus the 3 points. The Denver Broncos plus the 9 points. And the New York Football Giants minus the 3. Thank you for watching and have yourself a great weekend.